This is CBC Here and Now.
Tonight, serious injuries after two crashes on the Outer Ring Road.
The highway shut down for hours.
There's so much at stake here.
So we need to get this information out. I think this is important.
I think we need to see for ourselves what work product they produced.
The chalk reports released, but not the ones from the law firm conducting a major part of the investigation.
And now there are calls to make them all public. Good evening, I'm Anthony Germain.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes. We start tonight in St. John's,
where heavy rain and heavy traffic combined for a nasty accident on the Outer Ring Road. It involved at least 6 vehicles, including a transport truck, and several people were hurt.
This was the scene around 3 o'clock. Several people have been taken to hospital with serious injuries. Fortunately, though, there are no fatalities.
Now, here's what we know. It was actually 2 separate accidents in the same area of the Outer Ring Road. Now, each accident involved three vehicles. One of those accidents involved a tractor trailer, a recycling truck, as well as a pickup. Now, there's no word on the cause, although it was raining at the time. Police shut down the road while they got help for the injured and cleaned up all the debris.
And as you can imagine, those collisions caused quite the backup for commuters on an already busy stretch of highway. The section of the Outer Ring Road between Thorburn Road and the Allendale Road exchange has been closed.
Well, there's a push at the House of Assembly for the report behind the report.
As we told you last night, the government brought in an independent firm from Toronto to help the commissioner with the investigation. And
now it seems that all sides want to see exactly what independent investigators had to say about the harassment scandal.
Here now is Katie Breen joins us live from the newsroom. So Katie, if everyone wants to see the independent reports, why haven't they been released?
Well, Legislative Commissioner Bruce Chalk says the independent reports are privileged. He says in it, names are named and people are entitled to their privacy. He used the Rublin-Tomlinson report to inform his own. A lot of it, he says, is verbatim, but he is entitled to put in his own opinion. Eddie Joyce and Dale Kirby, the 2 accused, want to see exactly what the difference is. They say the independent report will totally clear them.
I think we need to see for ourselves what work product they produced and how that compares to what ultimately the commissioner did.
I believe that may be something that will help. There's so much at stake here.
I think that information can be useful to help guide us through the decisions that we need to make.
Legislative standards is independent from government. So the Premier says he can't just redact the names and put the report out himself, but he says he is going to encourage that to happen.
Well, last night on Here and Now, MHA Eddie Joyce, as you well know, said that he couldn't be in the same party as his accuser, Sherry Gambin-Walsh. So, Katie, what are they saying about that today?
Well, that's right. You'll remember the ultimatum. Joyce said it's either her or it's me. Today, Gambin-Walsh was reacting to that. She says she doesn't like that tactic and that she's hurt he'd say that. But she did say she is willing to work with him. Joyce, however, is holding fast.
I'm an individual, like I said already to the media, who believes in a system of restorative justice. I believe in fairness and openness and transparency and honesty, and I can work with anyone who is just and honest.
She stated that I am bankrupt, that I should not be in the House of Assembly. How can I put my family through that again? How can I do it? I refuse to do it. Absolutely. This is too personal.
The Premier again today wouldn't say what he plans to do, just that he's going to watch the process unfold and that he has zero tolerance for bullying and harassment. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Katie Breen for Here and Now.
Now, many who've been following this story might be surprised to know that the actual investigation was carried out not by local authorities, but by a very well-known Toronto law firm. Rublin-Tomlinson sent investigators to this province, and they conducted interviews and they formed most of the reports. And while some people involved still have complaints about the process, many high-profile employers have used Rublin-Tomlinson to sort out these kinds of complaints. Here now, Zach Gowdy explains.
Lawyers Janice Rubin and Christine Tomlinson literally wrote the book on workplace investigations, and the firm they co-founded has become the go-to shop for high-profile employers.
Watch, guys. Coming up.
Rubin Tomlinson's most well-known investigation was at the CBC. Janice Rubin personally wrote the report on the Jian Ghomeshi scandal and how executives at the public broadcaster dealt with complaints against its former star. Last year, Justin Trudeau's office hired Rubin Tomlinson when a high-ranking staffer was accused of inappropriate conduct. Claude Eric Gagné resigned in February. The results of the investigation were not made public. In 2015, the Canadian Olympic Committee came calling when its president, Marcel Aubu, was accused of sexual harassment. Aubu also resigned and apologized for his behavior. Currently, Rubin Tomlinson is investigating another government facing issues of workplace harassment. The City of London, Ontario has brought in the firm to review its harassment policies after complaints from dozens of employees. Despite the firm's pedigree, some MHAs are unhappy with the process Rubin Tomlinson followed here and the report it produced. Yesterday, the House voted to bring the firm's investigators back for questioning. Rubin Tomlinson won't say if it will comply with that request. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
A well-connected Liberal has been handed a high-paying job at the Rooms. Here Now has uncovered details about how Carla Foote, who's long been a political staffer, has been given a civil service job without any competition. Peter Cowan has been digging into the story, and he's here now with the details. So, Peter, what is Carla Foote's Liberal connection here?
Well, Caroline, I'll start with her job. She's been working as a political staffer for years, first for the Liberals in opposition, and then as the top communications person for the civil service. Now, she's also the daughter of Judy Foote, the former federal cabinet minister and current lieutenant governor. Here she is with her mother when Judy Foote stepped down from politics. Now, her new job at the Rooms is Executive Director of Marketing and Development. That's a civil service job, but there was no competition. She was just handed the contract. And it comes with a big paycheck. She'll be making $132,000 a year. The only person at the Rooms who makes more money is the CEO, Dean Brinton. Last year, no one else at the Rooms made more than $100,000. Employees at the Rooms have all been told to refer questions about the decision to government. Christopher Mitchell-Moore is the minister in charge. He says it was too urgent to post the job and let people compete, even though the job has been vacant for 2 years.
It was determined that it is a high priority to fill a position around marketing and development at that level and hire somebody at that caliber to do that work so that the Rooms can achieve its mandate and its strategic plan. This is why it was imminent that they would hire somebody in that position, and Carla Foote was the person that was the contracted person in that role to do the work, and she's highly qualified and capable, and I have nothing further to add.
The opposition is raising concerns about this tonight. PC leader Ches Crosby told me that this contract, handed out without competition, doesn't fit with what the Liberals promised.
The Liberals, when they ran, made it clear that they were not supportive of this kind of process of giving people jobs.
The province told me that this contract has no fixed end date, Carolyn.
Thanks, Peter. That's Here and Now's Peter Cowan reporting.
It's Oktoberfest here in Witless Bay. We're live. We'll have more on what they're doing here tonight.
It's a rare night when you can't hear Jeremy eating.
It looks like a party.
That, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for
a bit of fun.
Well, it was a bit of a wet day, I guess, in St. John's, but Happy Valley Goose Bay, boy, it is slushy and snowy up there.
Wet in a different way, yeah. Yep. Some wet snow. I mean, it's been snowing now. That's been the story for like the past 2 weeks. And we're just going to continue to see this. Now, last time I checked, that was already had changed over to rain and will do so over the next 24 hours. Then tomorrow we're going to see things change back to snow as some colder air moves in, but definitely a messy situation there. And for most of Labrador, really, that's what we're looking at.
Wow.
So,
they're really getting a lot of snow early, even for them.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it is quite
I'm
significant.
not ready to see that.
Well,
I like the colors of all the leaves right now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
and it just seemed like we just lost all those leaves all of a sudden yesterday.
Yep.
It's like a little puff of wind and then they were all gone.
See ya.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if we take a look at the current radar right now, we did see heavy rainfall, as you guys had mentioned earlier today. And since then, it has pushed off. We are still going to see some shower activity, though, through the night tonight. We even did see some lightning associated with this system. That risk will end or has ended and won't continue as we head through the overnight tonight. But again, those showers still very much in place. Now, up through Labrador, we saw all that snow, and we still have a snowfall warning in place for Churchill Falls and the Valley, and then a blowing snow advisory in place for Labrador City. And that's because those winds have been gusting upwards of 60, even 70 kilometers per hour. So those reduced visibilities are expected to continue through the night tonight. And then into tomorrow, we've got large waves for the coast, as well as snow on the way for parts of Gros Morne. I'll tell you how much is going to fall coming up in a little bit.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, police have laid multiple charges against a Botwood man who allegedly barricaded himself inside a home last night. First responders surrounded the house near the Hugh Toomey Health Center in Botwood. Police say they found a gun on the man. He was arrested around 1:30 a.m. this morning. Police first went to the home to arrest the man for assault. People were kept away from the area for hours while police worked.
And kids were in on Toomey Drive, we weren't allowed to get to them. And their father, mother worked in Grand Falls, and they got home from work. They weren't allowed to get in to see them, to get them. But eventually they let my son in to get the kids, and they're home safe right now. But it was terrifying.
I can tell from your voice.
It was heartbreaking.
I can tell from your voice
it was terrifying. It was something that I never, ever want to experience again, never. I just want to hold my kids, I want to hold my grandkids and tell them how much I love them. It was terrifying.
When Astaldi workers from Muskrat Falls checked their bank accounts today, they got an eye-popping surprise. Although it's payday for them, there were no funds deposited into their accounts, and they haven't been compensated now for work since October the 14th. Workers for the financially troubled company were ordered off the Muskrat Falls site by Nalcor on October 18th. But Premier Dwight Ball maintained today that those workers will eventually get their money.
Wages will be paid. It's important that workers in Newfoundland and Labrador, when they go to work, they would get the paycheck that they rightfully deserves. Right now, Nalcor is working at the ways that logistically this could happen, but those workers will get paid.
Now, Astaldi Canada's parent company filed for protection from its creditors last month, and in August, Trades NL filed a lien against Astaldi Canada for nearly $8 million to cover remittances that they say weren't paid to workers to cover their benefits.
Well, a former chair of the Public Utilities Board is accusing a former premier and cabinet minister of being thugs and bullies. Andy Wells testified at the Muskrat Falls inquiry in St. John's today. Here Now's Mark Quinn has been following the inquiry. So, Mark, it sounds like another fiery outburst from the former mayor of St. John's.
Absolutely, Carolyn. Earlier today, the Commissioner, Richard LeBlanc, said he didn't want to have a sideshow, but many will say that's exactly what he got. And this one has its roots back in 2011 when Andy Wells was the chair of the PUB, and at that time the PUB was asked to review Muskrat Falls plans.
Wells said the board wasn't given adequate time or information to do the job.
Nalcor was not forthcoming, and I found it totally and completely outrageous. Unacceptable, unprofessional, and I think it was disrespectful of the process, and I will go so far as to say I think it was intentional.
Nalcor's lawyer, Dan Simmons, asked Wells if he had any evidence that Nalcor was withholding information. Wells said, "No, that's my opinion." Wells said things got worse in 2012 when the board released a Manitoba consultant that the provincial government was also planning to use. He said he received an angry call from former Premier Kathy Dunderdale.
Menacing, threatening. This was an angry person. This was a bully.
The board was criticized by government members for filing an inconclusive report on the Muskrat Falls project.
When they found out that we were playing a straight game, we were playing a straight, honest game, they got nasty. And when they finally got the report, of course, as was witnessed in the House of Assembly and witnessed by Dunderdale and witnessed by Kennedy, they showed their nasty, thuggish side.
Now, Andy Wells is expected to testify again tomorrow at the inquiry. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Mark Quinn.
Well, the Premier and the Leader of the Opposition debated Muskrat Falls in the House today. We'll show you that, plus Anthony's exchange with Chess Crosby in about 20 minutes.
Well, a rainy day in St. John's, as you can see from our CBC camera of the Parkway.
Yep, for sure. How long will it last? Ashley will have your forecast coming up next, and we'll introduce you to these students.
We're from Elizabeth Park Elementary, and you're watching Here and Now.
Weather update is brought to you by Harvey's Home Heating. Complete furnace replacement if yours cannot be repaired. That's furnace freedom. Visit harveyshomeheating.ca for more.
All right, we'll get to Ashley's weather forecast in a bit, but earlier today we got a visit, as we sometimes do. This was from Madame Steele's class from Elizabeth Park Elementary.
Yes, her grade 4 class was here, and they actually have some budding TV stars.
Yeah, they started with a tour of our radio studios before taking over TV Land. Take a look.
So they were all kind of keen, as they always are when they get inside the bright lights, and they all want to take pictures, of course, and you have teachers and a few parents snapping pictures of these really nice kids. There you go.
But of course, the coolest part is always a hit, the green screen.
Yeah, there we go.
If I was able to do that as a kid, I would have been very happy.
I know, and they all know about Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, so they absolutely go nuts.
I need to use that one day.
Yeah, there you go. And so we set up a little script there of a breaking news story for them, and it was a breaking news story that they were all very familiar with, and so were you.
The police are looking for a little blonde girl who broke into a house. She ate some porridge, broke a chair, and then fell asleep. 3 bears say she ran away, and the police are searching for her.
We're from Elizabeth Park Elementary, and you're watching Here and Now.
Yeah. And,
some updates on that breaking news story.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And then we'll do one about an attempted homicide with a wolf and a bunch of pigs. I think my favorite part of the visit, though, was when one of them was giving Ashley the gears, saying,
that was really good.
You just guess about the weather.
Yeah, it goes, how do you do your job? And I said, you know,
There's science. There's science.
Yeah, there's science. But so you just guess. And I was like, okay, I guess it's an educated guess.
There was one little boy who said that you are a very good guesser.
Yeah, she actually said she's always right.
Yeah. He did. That was very nice of him.
Yeah. It's amazing what a $10 bill will get you these days, Ashley. But,
they were so sweet.
Thanks for coming. It was great to meet you all.
Yeah, it really was.
So windy times in the west.
Yes, we talked about that yesterday, and then winds continued through the night. And we can take a look at the top gust from the Rec House area, 128 kilometers an hour.
Whoa.
And again, yeah, that was in the morning. We saw, you know, yesterday we talked about those those toppled over trucks into the day. So the winds have since eased, though, so that's definitely the good news there. But with these winds, we saw beautiful temperatures today in the double digits. Stephenville around 11 degrees, 12 in Corner Brook. We saw similar temperatures in St. John's as well, and then 8 degrees in Deer Lake. Now, temperatures right now are still pretty similar, still quite warm in St. John's at 11 degrees, 6 in the Rec House area. And then we've got these cooler temperatures over the Maritimes, and that's what's going to move in as we head towards the next couple of hours, because we've got more of a southwesterly flow moving in. So here's a look at the satellite and radar from today. We're starting to see some clearing as the system continues, or at least that low continues to pull a little bit further north. And then we've got that rain, which will taper to showers as we head through the overnight tonight for the Avalon. So here's a look at that system right now, just how large it is. We can see the center of the low right here. And then as we head through the night tonight, we're going to change more to a southwesterly flow. And with that risk of some snow, especially in the higher elevations along the coast, should stay as rain. But all that warm air is pushing further north, changing things over from snow in Labrador to rain. So last time I checked, Happy Valley Goose Bay is more of a rain-snow mix right now, and that will continue through the overnight. And then we're going to get some colder air move in behind this as we get more of a northwesterly flow, changing things over to snow. But in that, with that colder air, some of the models picking up on some pretty heavy snow for parts of the west coast, specifically in Grossmoor. Could see upwards of about 15 centimeters of snow by the time tomorrow rolls around, and then even into Saturday as well. So taking a look at the current watches and warnings right now, we've got a blowing snow advisory for Labrador City, and then that snowfall warning still in place, somewhere another 25 centimeters in total by the time tomorrow rolls around. And then if we take a look at the forecast for tonight, the wind's going to pick up along the coast, southwest 30, gusting 50 tonight. 6 degrees in Marystown, that chance of showers essentially across the island. And then take a look at these temperatures. They're actually going to climb for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Nain, and Cartwright, jumping up to the single digits, and then that's why we're going to see that change over to rain through the overnight tonight. 5 to 10 more centimeters expected for Lab City. Again, that blowing snow with gusts upwards of 60, even 70 kilometers per hour at times. And then into tomorrow, again, all of that will change back over to snow as that colder air moves in, but I will have all those details coming up in a little bit. Carolyn?
Thanks, Ashley. Well, some seniors in Witless Bay are celebrating Oktoberfest tonight, and they're doing it with local flair.
Lots of food, a bit of drink, of course, and dancing going down at the Alderwood Estates. Now, Jeremy Eaton is here now as a rambunctious party correspondent, but unfortunately, They're having such a good time that Jeremy can't find his way to the camera right now. Eventually we'll send him a text message and he'll find his way to where he should be, and we'll get his report. Stay tuned for that.
Legislature in this case was judge and jury, and I hope not executioner.
My reputation was being trashed in the media.
And on it goes at the Newfoundland and Labrador legislature.
Up next, the latest on who broke the rules, allegedly, and who should have their knuckles rapped.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, as we mentioned before the break, there's a big Oktoberfest party at Alderwood Estates in Witless Bay tonight.
Right, and we had some difficulty getting a hold of Here and Now correspondent Jeremy Eaton, who at the time was doing research. He has since managed to get the various beer steins, as according to CBC policy, out of the camera shot so we can go to him live. So Jeremy, what's the party like?
So the party is well underway. The Petty Harbour Boys are playing there in the background. You can sort of hear them. A few dancers getting ready to get up and have a jig. There's some food, there's some beer, there's a lot going on. And the woman who organized it is with us right now. This is Rebecca Houlihan. Renee, sorry, my bad. We were talking about names and I screwed it up. So what's going on behind you?
So what you're seeing here tonight, Jeremy, is Alderwood Estates' interpretation of the 200-year-old German tradition of Oktoberfest. And we've meshed the two cultures together with beer and moose sausage and baked apple tarts. If this was in Germany, we would have had Black Forest cake. Tonight, it's all about the baked apple. If we were in Germany, perhaps you'd have pretzels. In Newfoundland, it's going to be about the roast chicken chips. There's no Pilsner to be found. It's all Blue Star, Black Horse, and Dominion. And to cap it all off, what puts the heart and soul into this night here tonight is the boys from Petty Harbour. They've been playing music for 54 years together, and they started in Around the Circle, and they've come around again. And they're not going to be playing the polka, they're going to be playing If You're Irish. And at that point, all of these residents are going to throw their walkers and their canes to the walls and get up on their feet.
This is the second year that you've done this. Why was it important to throw an event like this here at Alderwood?
Well, at Alderwood, we believe that you come here to live, and what better way to celebrate living than music and food and dance, and that's really what our culture embodies, and you're seeing the best of it here tonight.
And how happy are you to see what's happening here behind us as a recreational director here at the Alderwood?
You know, honestly, Jeremy, I can run any exercise program that can compare with this type of music. I mean, this is the most motivational setting for recreation that you can imagine.
I hate to ask you, but who's the oldest person here?
The oldest resident here is Nora Normore. She's from St. Vincent's, and she's 98, and she's the captain of our Puppet Patrol team. She's in our choir. She's in our knitting club, the Witless Bay Knitwits. She's incredible.
Now, we're actually going to meet Nora coming up later on in the show, but right now we got to go back to St. John's and the studio. So reporting live from Witless Bay, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
How does he feel about the pre-planning that was done by the administration that he now leads?
Last time I looked, I wasn't the head of an administration.
Answer the questions that need to be answered. Are you now defending the project with the colleagues that you currently sit with? Leader of the opposition, was it a mistake, yes or no?
Mr. Speaker, I must be misinformed, but I thought the question period was for the opposition to ask questions. And not the other way around.
As usual.
Well, they don't call it answer period, do they? In a bit of political role reversal, Premier Dwight Ball plastered opposition leader Ches Crosby with the same question over and over and over again. Does he think the mega project was a mistake? Now, Crosby went on to tell reporters that he's not ready to answer that question, and I asked him about his position right after question period.
It seems that Nalcor, lowballed the costs. Just exactly how that happened, well, we've heard a bunch about that. It is discouraging. It is discouraging. There's no question about that. But again, all the evidence is not yet in. For example, we have not heard from Mr. Martin and many others, for example, former Premier Tom Marshall, who are going to have something of value to say about all this. So I'm not going to prejudge things.
So you're essentially waiting for an inquiry to tell you whether or not Muskrat Falls was a mistake or not?
Well, it's easy to apply the retrospectoscope, and it's easy to say it would have been a much better idea had the costs not doubled. And that's a pretty facile observation. Yes, it would have been much better had the costs not doubled.
Well, what's facile about $12.5 billion versus $6 billion?
It's a heavy load of debt that we've assumed to pay for the project.
But wouldn't it lead most people to think it's a mistake?
It's a rather simple and obvious conclusion that it would have been better if the cost had not doubled.
So it was a mistake?
Look, in retrospect, we are burdened with something that we've got to find a plan to dig our way out of and out from under. And that's where the focus has to be.
Right, but if you need a plan to dig your way out, don't you need that because it was a mistake?
Well, Anthony, you're trying to get me to say something which I don't really want to say, so you'll have to be satisfied with what I just told you.
So stay in the legislature now and the ongoing clashes between MHAs today. The Speaker ruled that another Liberal MHA is going to be investigated for possibly breaking the rules of the House. Now, former Cabinet Minister Dale Kirby is facing an investigation for releasing reports into bullying and harassment to the media. And today, Mr. Kirby argued that his former caucus colleague, Colin Holloway, well, he should face the same kind of investigation. And Kirby told the House that Holloway also released 2 reports to the CBC before they were actually tabled in the House. Now, Mr. Holloway fought back, saying he was victimized and insisted that he did not release the reports. Here's part of that exchange.
We all have a right to be treated equally under the rules of the legislature. And yesterday, the legislature, a majority of the members voted to refer me to this committee for this allegation of contempt. And if you're going to refer me to the committee, then it is only fair for the member who did exactly the same thing months before I did to be referred there as well, regardless of whether or not it makes any sense to do that. I know it sounds foolish, but that's where we are.
I would argue to this House that we are not the same. I was a person who came forward with a complaint of harassment, intimidation, and bullying against that member. The reports were released prematurely before they could come to this House. So now I was further being victimized by the people that released that report. And I assure you, I did not do it at that time. Having consulted with you, Mr. Speaker, having consulted with the Commissioner of Legislative Standards, I was now in a protection of myself mode. The reports were out there. I was told by the Commissioner that I could talk about the details of those reports because they were already in the public domain. So I differ than what the motion and what the member from Mount Sion is saying. I was not in the same category. I was actually the person who was the complainant, and now my reputation was being trashed in the media because the reports were already in the public domain.
Now, in the end, Holloway lost his argument, and after a short break, the Speaker ruled that, like Kirby, Holloway will also face a breach of privilege investigation.
Well, the M in Memorial University might as well stand for math.
MUN students come out on top at the Atlantic Math Championships again.
Math whiz Jeremy Eaton brings you that story in 3 minutes.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Now, if you own a Ford Focus, you might want to top up your gas tank. The company is recalling more than 1 million cars because of a defect that can lead the engine to stall. when the tank gets low. Now, most of those Fords are in the United States, but a little more than 136,000 of those vehicles are right here in Canada. Ford is notifying owners and advises drivers to keep the gas tank at least half full until certain repairs are made. The company says it is not aware of any crashes caused by this problem.
Well, Memorial University has some of the brightest math minds in Atlantic Canada. 2 of its students just won the Science Atlantic Mathematics Conference.
And it turns out that's actually nothing new. This is impressive. This is the 4th year in a row that MUN students have come out on top. So our Jeremy Eaton, he grabbed his abacus and he swung by the math department to meet these young masterminds.
Sum of their ages is the same as the house number. The census taker looks at the house number, thinks for a minute, and then says more information is needed. The owner says that the oldest child likes chocolate pudding.
It's a Atlantic Canada-wide competition. This is the 4th year in a row that Memorial has successfully managed to get, a team from Memorial has successfully managed to get first. And it's oftentimes very, very close. So for instance, this year apparently there was a 1-point difference between first and second place. Well, we're given a set of 8 questions or so, and 3 hours. And so then me and my partner Andrew, we worked on each one of the questions. Like we would start with the question we thought we could get done the fastest, worked on that until we had it done, or we tried a different question. And by the end of the time, you have however many questions you have done, you hand in to the front and you're gone.
It's actually the 4th year that Memorial University has gotten first in this competition, the 4th year running. So, you know, they were thrilled to find out that we were now on a win streak of 4. Of course, we've got another competition that we're preparing for in early December, so we're going to keep practicing for that. But this is an excellent warm-up for that. It's hard to practice for this type of competition because it's not like they're going to ask the same type of problem every year. It requires the same type of thinking, but really that's what you're practicing. You're practicing how to think like that, not how to resolve particular problems like you might do in a math course. Have all the knowledge that
Well, I'm pretty thrilled. This is 4 years in a row that Memorial has won a team. These guys, Sam was on last year's team, and now so 4 years in a row. First time, no, one other time in the history of the competition, a university has won 4 times in a row. That was Memorial University in the early 80s. So it's a pretty rare accomplishment.
Is that something you'd like to see more students like this coming through the math and department and doing math degrees?
Absolutely, the more the merrier. We love to draw as many people who want to solve problems. We even have a high school student, actually, for the first time this semester, we have a high school student who's coming to take part with us on Wednesdays. So the Putnam competition, the Science Atlantic, we have to fly people somewhere, so there's a limited number of people we can send, but the Putnam competition and the internal competitions, as many people who want to write it can.
2 children are 6, they're basically the same age. So we know that the children's ages are 2, 2, and 9.
Good on them.
Yeah.
Well, we've been bringing you a lot of cannabis coverage in recent weeks as legalization kicked off in this province and rolled out across the country.
So in the spirit of education, we have dipped into the CBC archives to bring you this public service demonstration.
Hi, I'm Pierre Burton. Looking back on my career, you know, I cannot count the number of times a young man or a young woman has come up to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Burton, what's the best way to roll a joint?" Well, let me tell you, it's not that way. Come on, put that down and we'll start over. First of all, you need a good rolling surface. May I suggest either the National Green or my latest book, Prisoners of the North. Avoiding novelty or colored paper, I prefer white paper to add to your mix, and being in Ontario, we always use hydroponic. So be sure to remove any twigs and seeds. Now, the way you distribute the mix will determine the shape of your joint. I prefer the classic cone-shaped joint, what the young people call a coner. Now for the tricky bit. Pick everything up, start in the middle, roll outwards, and let your thumbs do most of the work. And when you have an even consistency, wrap the excess paper around the joint, wet the paper, and seal the joint. Excellent. firm, but not too firm. Just the way I like it. And remember, Canada, it's the loose joints that tend to fall apart, leaving unsightly toque burns on your chairs or on your bow tie. It's a tragedy we all want to avoid, don't we? I'm Pierre Burton, and that's how to roll a joint.
Hi, I'm Bernice Hillier.
And I'm Martin Jones.
Your hosts of CBC Newfoundland Morning.
We're thrilled to start your day with in-depth news, stories, and information about your community every morning.
We'll take you closer to what matters to you and hopefully make you laugh along the way.
Join us each day, same time, same station, new team.
Well, you just caught the new promo for Newfoundland Morning. That's a new show for radio listeners in Central and on the West Coast and the Northern Peninsula. And I've worked with those two hosts and helped them a little bit. It's going to be a dynamite show, I assure you. So I hope you tune in on Monday when that show launches.
Yeah, and the show also reaches listeners on the Northern Peninsula and the Southern Avalon.
I stole your line, sorry.
And speaking of Central, check this out. Tim Pollitt caught this pod of porpoises near Kings Point earlier this month.
Oh. A bit of a tongue twister.
Just
there.
a little bit.
So does he have a helicopter or is he in a drone? Or?
It must be a drone. It's got to be a drone.
Right? That's fantastic.
Great footage. Wow.
That is an immense pod. Like pods to me are like 5 or 6. That's a school.
Yeah. That's a big community.
In fact, it looks more like a university. A lot of them. Gorgeous, gorgeous creatures, though. If you've ever been out cod fishing, sometimes you'll actually come across them, and they're so spectacular to see. Gorgeous creatures.
That is stunning footage, that's for
wow.
sure.
Yeah, thanks so much for sending that in.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how's the weather looking?
Well, for tomorrow, we're going to see a little bit of a drop in temperatures from today, unfortunately. It's not going to last long, though, as we head towards next week. It does look like another warm-up is on the way. But as far as winds go for tomorrow, we've got those strongest winds down through the southwest coast, going to pick up gusting upwards of about 80 kilometers per hour. And then temperatures, there's that drop I mentioned. So about 4 degrees in Port Basque, Corner Brook, seeing a high near 3 degrees tomorrow, and that onshore flow expected into the afternoon. So it does look like showers, but towards the inland areas we will see that change over to flurries through the day. Otherwise, it looks like a mix of sun and cloud for the most part, with some scattered showers across the island. 6 degrees in St. Anthony, Cartwright 6 degrees as well. It should stay as rain, or at least the chance of showers through the afternoon. Happy Valley, Goose Bay at 4 degrees, and then Nain sitting at 2 degrees. It does look like the rain-snow mix will change over to snow as some colder air moves in. So we have some watches or rather some special weather statements in effect right now. The snow for Gros Morne looks like about 15 centimeters is on the way for the higher elevations into the afternoon. Otherwise, it's the waves tomorrow. So we could see 4 to 6 meter waves into the afternoon, and then that will continue through most of the day and into Saturday. It'll go down a little bit, which is good news there. So here's a look at that future tracker in that southwest flow. Again, we're seeing all of that potential for some snow tomorrow. Even down along the south coast as well, that should be showers for the Avalon into the afternoon. But again, more of a mix of sun and cloud through the day. Into Saturday, or rather Friday night into Saturday, those temperatures are significantly going to drop. So we can see that spread of snow potentially heading towards central as well. Otherwise, a little bit of clearing skies maybe through Saturday, at least through the first half of the day. We could see that chance of showers or flurries, and then some clearing out. But those temperatures are going to stay sitting around the single digits. Then the next weather maker moves in, and that's on Sunday, with some significant rainfall. But take a look at some of these temperatures. By the time Monday rolls around for St. John, 17 degrees it looks like as the afternoon high. That might even be even warmer. A little bit of a wintry mix starting Sunday night as the system continues to move in for western Newfoundland, and then same for central, but generally just looking at winds or rather significant amounts of rainfall again. For western Labrador, breezy on Saturday, sunshine on Sunday. It looks like towards the weekend those temperatures are going to warm up, and then the next weather maker for eastern Labrador moves in on Monday. So when I come back, I will have all your weather photos coming up.
All right, appreciate that, Ashley. A BC family is shocked that they have become targets of public anger following a frightening encounter with a mother bear.
Yes, they shared a video after trying to chase the bear and her cubs out of their backyard.
The CBC's Mira Baines picks up the story, but first a warning. Some of you may find this video disturbing.
Oh, God. 54-year-old Lawrence Michalchuk is seen on video in a scary encounter with a grizzly in his yard. Now he's facing a backlash for his actions.
It's nice to think that when you live in a city that, everything is, not an issue down there. But here, I mean, it's tough for me to take. I'm having a hard time with the fact that, with my kids, that I can't protect my kids by just keeping the bears off the property.
He says the sow and her 3 cubs had been living on his property in Bella Coola for days. They were attracted to apples in his yard behind an electrified fence. Michalchuk says they were acting territorial when he tried to leave the house. His wife recorded the video. Michalchuk fired 2 rounds of birdshot in the air. Then the grizzly charged at him. Michalchuk says he grazed the sow with a round.
And then she got up and then bit my shoe. And that gave me enough time to try to get under the deck and into the house. And then last thing I remember, she was coming out with her mouth open.
And then the bears took off. WildSafe BC says a charging bear can hit speeds of upwards of 13 meters per second. The group recommends using bear spray to stop a charging grizzly.
They can cover a lot of ground really quickly. So you need to be able to get the bear spray out, get a wall of spray between you and the bear. And as soon as that bear hits that wall, it's going to break off the attack and leave you alone.
He says bears are getting ready for winter and are looking for food sources, leading to a rise in human-bear conflicts. The BC Conservation Service says an investigation is underway. Mira Baines, CBC News, Vancouver.
Difficult to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. Pretty scary.
Yeah.
So we'll shift to something a little happier, at least. Tonight, seniors, as we mentioned, at Alderwood Estates in Witless Bay, they're saying bring on the beer.
Yes, they're hosting their own version of Oktoberfest. And time now to check in with here, and that's Jeremy Eaton, who's down there right now. So, Jeremy, you know there's no beer drinking on the job, right?
Nobody told me that. Is that in our contract? I'll have to read that.
You'll get the memo.
In the last break, we were talking about Nora here, and Nora, can you remind me, how old are you, Nora?
I'm 98.
Nora is the oldest resident here, so I got to ask you a question. How does one live to be 98 years old? What are your keys to success?
Well, lots of hard work, day and night. 14-hour days.
14-hour days.
Yeah, 14-hour days.
I heard a rumor. Do you like having a sip every now and then?
Lots of beer, white wine, and Baileys, my favorite.
And what do you think of Oktoberfest?
Oh, that's beautiful. This is the first time I've seen it. Yeah.
Do you think you'll come back next year?
Oh, I'm going to be alive. I got to get a card from the Queen.
so you hold it when you turn 100, you get a card from the Queen, right?
I got to wait for that, yeah. I'm going to wait for that.
Well, Nora, we appreciate your time, but we want to switch over real quick. Hopefully the signal stays. We got a couple special guests. This is Ronnie, one of the guys who taught Alan Doyle everything he knows. Ronnie, how did you get involved in Oktoberfest?
Obviously, the picture's kind of frozen there, so...
It's too bad. It's such a good interview.
Yeah, I know, and I think given that the secret to a long life is beer, Baileys,
white wine.
And white wine.
Her favorite is Baileys, though.
Yeah, so Jeremy probably is immortal. Anyhow, sorry that we had a bit of problems there, but what a wonderful interview. They're having a great time, obviously.
Looks like a postcard, doesn't it?
Nice one.
Sunrise.
It's on the island.
Oh yeah. Is this in the east? Isn't it Torbay?
No.
Eastport Peninsula?
No.
Okay. Let's
Actually,
go to
maybe.
commercial.
I don't really know. Yeah, we'll figure that out after the break.
on, Chrissy, we're going to be late. The bell's about to ring.
I told you we didn't have time for your French vanilla.
Signing off for the O'Donnell Morning Show, my name is Jonathan Hunt.
And I'm Michael Chislett.
Hey guys, sorry, we're late.
Very late.
Oh, we were trying to figure out what to do about this promo.
You mean that the St. John's Morning Show will be broadcasting here live at O'Donnell?
Friday morning from 7 to 9 a.m.
Yeah, that's pretty well it. You nailed it.
What you guys said. Well, we are done here, guys.
But the principal would like to see you now.
Thanks, Michael.
Love that look. So good.
As I mentioned, he's on a first name basis with all his principals when he was growing up, so brings back bad memories. But anyway, it'll be a great show in Mount Pearl. Hope you tune in to St. John's Morning Show tomorrow.
Yeah, so just before the break, we showed you the weather photo. We'll take a look at that again. Gorgeous sunrise there.
Wait, is that Jeremy Eaton I see?
It might be. It very well might be. Yeah, this was taken in Witless Bay. A beautiful sunrise shot there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sending that in, Stephen. If you have any weather photos that you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
I can't believe I blew that. I've been on that beach several times.
It looked very familiar.
Yeah. No,
Well,
I don't get them right often, so when I blow them, I feel really bad. You know. But
And it's cool that that's where Jeremy Eaton is tonight at Witless Bay at Oktoberfest.
yes. What time will he get back, do you think?
I wonder.
From Oktoberfest.
Sunrise, maybe.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for tomorrow's show. We'll drag Jeremy in here and see what he's up to.
Yeah. Speaking of fall, actually, if any of you guys have any of your fall photos, we would love to see them.
Yeah, leaves.
Lots of leaves.
Yeah, they're coming down.
If you're playing in the leaves, that's what I want to get out there and do that.
Yeah, kids, pets, whatever you got with the leaves, send it on.
That's right.
All right, that's it for us.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.